What's up, everybody? Armed and Intelligent, back with another video. And before I even get this video started, I got to give a shout out to my man, Eyes and Ears Tactical, who gave me some really good advice. And well, let's just say he knows the advice he gave me, and I took that advice. So shout out to Eyes and Ears Tactical. Appreciate you, brother. Good looking out. Now, today's video is about the Gen 6 Glock 19 and the Gen 6 Glock 45. So since I mentioned the 19 first, let me do a little switcheroo here. Get the 19 center stage. So I finally got these out to the range today, just a couple of hours ago, actually. And let's just say it was really interesting. First of all, my Gen 6 Glock 19 is running the Sealy or Siley, however you say it, Wolf 2, and the TLR7X Lite. First one of these that I shot today was actually the Glock 19. The Glock 19 is an excellent shooter. We already know that. The Gen 6 Glock 19, honestly, it really steps things up quite a bit. It really does. Give me 1 second. Let me pause this video and I'm gonna run and get the Gen 6 Glock 19 and the Gen 6 Glock 45. Be right back. And I'm back. So, how did the Glock 19 Gen 6 shoot? Honestly, it shot phenomenally, and it shot a little different than its predecessor, the Gen 5 Glock 19. This one is loaded in chamber, so we are not going to be playing around with it. It's just here just to show for, differentiation between the two guns. First of all, there's no mag, and let me show clear so you guys can see this clear. Pull the trigger. That's it. The stippling makes an incredible difference, especially when combined with the palm swell. It is a totally different feel than the stippling here combined with a non-palm swell, and with the Gen 6 being more rounded versus this one being a little bit more square. The way that the gun feels and fits in the hand is like totally different, while being basically synonymous with Glock. The beaver tail, as you can see, it makes the way the gun handles and fits. First of all, you're not going to get any slide bite. And I never got slide bite with any of my Glocks, whether they had a beaver tail on them or not. My thumbs and index fingers hit perfectly on the new gas pedal, whether you want to call it a gas pedal or not. They hit like really good on it, fits right in there. And it does actually help you control the gun a lot more. Like, you get a lot more control on the gun. The front and rear serrations, you can really notice them a lot compared to the front and rear serrations on the Gen 5. The Gen 5s just aren't as deep, and you can just get your hand in there a little bit more. When I was cleaning the guns, because I'm the type that when I get back from the range, I'm going to clean my guns. Even with my hands oily, I noticed that I could get a really good grip on them, especially when I gripped it, right up here at the top where those serrations are. It's a little bit softer shooting than the Gen 5, even though it has a single capture recoil spring versus the dual capture, it actually shoots a little bit softer. And I got some video that I'm going to do later today, and it's all the shooting that I did with them from 3 yards, maybe 10 yards, 15 and 20. I don't think I went 25 yards, but I'm gonna edit that video and do it a little later today. This is just gonna be a review of the guns. The stippling is incredible. The palm swell, the flared mag well is perfect. It's not too big, not too small. You don't have any problems getting the mag in there. Another thing I really like about this is the undercut. The trigger undercut helps a lot. If you take a look at my at my Gen 5, I did my own little Dremel job undercut under here. So, I was already kind of anticipating what this would feel like. Haven't done it to this gun. Take a sip of my coffee here, guys. Folgers Crystals, caramel macchiato, and chocolate caramel macchiato with a little dry cream in there. It's excellent. Glock really did it big time with the Gen 6 while keeping the look synonymous with Glock. A lot of big upgrades that are both, most of them are external, but internal too, but with the package stand pretty much just the same. Let me take this out and put the 45 in here, guys. Show that it's clear. See that it's clear. No mag in there. Pull the trigger. So let's talk about the trigger. The trigger is a lot better than the Gen 5 trigger. You being flat face, you get more trigger on the pad of your finger, because that trigger shoe is flat face. It has a more audible and tactile reset. To me, everybody talks about the wall is more of a rolling break. To me, the wall has a more definitive break. Hang on, let's do this. So here's the take up. We'll go nice and slow. And that's at the wall. There is no roll through there. Watch, when I pull it, that's it. There's no roll. Reset. Wall. There's no roll. There's really no creep, no mush. Once again, there's your reset. And there's the wall. As soon as it just breaks. Let's do it with the Glock 19. Right to the wall. See it stop? See it stop? Now I'm just gonna stop, break, reset, break, reset, right there at the wall, break. So the trigger it's just better. It's got a shorter reset, more audible, more tactile feedback. With the flat face shoe, you get more on the pad of your finger. With the undercut, you're getting up there more with your grip and getting on that trigger. It's just better. The takedown levers stick out a little bit more than they do. Let's see if I can get them both in here. You can't really tell. Let's hold this one up really close. And then let's hold this one up really close. Yeah, you can tell. On the newer one, which I'm holding in my left hand, it's elevated more, which means it sticks out more to the side. It allows you to break the gun down more. I don't too much care about the sight, since I'm a red dot kind of guy. I don't know why I don't have a red dot on here, but I'm going to get one on there. Once you zero it in, you're good. I may go with some taller sights, and I may not. I'm not really sure. But man, it's like where's my Gen 5 Glock 40? Glock 45. Here's my Gen 5 Glock 45 in my left hand and the 6 in my right hand. I do have the back strap and beaver tail on the Gen 5, and that's another thing that makes it feel really different, because now I have that beaver tail but with the slimmer grip. So, and it's a little bit more rounded. This is a little bit more rounded than this one. So it just feels different, especially with that undercut. The Gen 5 still feels phenomenal. The Gen 6 just feels even that much more phenomenal. And they're the same size, except the grip is a little thicker because I have the full back strap on it. So it does make it a little thicker, but the Gen 6 is a lot better. Let me switch it back up. I think that combination of the palm swell, the more aggressive stippling, the rounded grip with the built-in beaver tail, the higher undercut, and the shorter reset on the trigger, it allowed me to control the gun a lot more whether I was shooting it slow or fast. I don't get the best groups. I'm not a master at this. I can get, most of my shots to group pretty good, and the rest will be well in the silhouette, enough to defend myself legally and not have any collateral damage hits, and enough to pass my CCW, renewal. And that's good enough for me. As I get better, I get better. But I did notice that I was better shooting my Gen 619 than I was my Gen 519, and I shot this gun not too long ago with the dot on it. I just switched it and then switched it back. So both of them were shot within a week of each other with the dots, and the Gen 6 was just better. The trigger was better. The reset was shorter. It was more crisp. The grip felt better. I think Glock did a really, really outstanding job without doing too much to really over exaggerate the updates and make the gun like really, really different and introduce us to a new learning curve. Which gun do I feel shot better? I will honestly say between both of these guns, I will honestly say that I will probably say that the 45 shoots better because the grip is longer. So you just get more meat on the grip, and it just shoots a little flatter because it just has a longer grip. It's not a better gun. Both of them are the same. I didn't want a 17. I just didn't have an interest in it, probably because I don't want to buy any more guns with 4.5-inch barrels or longer. I have a Glock 22 40 cal, 4.5-inch barrel, a Glock 21 45 ACP, 4.5-inch barrel. The Glock 2010 millimeter, I think it has a 4.6-inch barrel. And my FN 545 has a 4.7-inch threaded barrel. So, those are my four big boys that I take out on the range, or, hikes, camping, and out in the mountains and stuff like that. I open carry those sometimes. They're high up in the home defense rotation, but I'm never going to conceal carry those 4 guns. They're just too big. So moving forward, the handguns that I purchased, I want them to be what I call Mr. Perfect, because they're perfect for the 4 scenarios for me, which is open carry, concealed carry, outdoors, woods, hikes, all that stuff, and home defense. So that's how come I didn't get a 17, because I don't want anything else with that barrel length. But 17 rounds plus 1, 15 rounds plus 1, you know, they hit home where they're supposed to hit home. So I'm good with that. I think these are quite a bit better than the Gen 5s. Now, I would not tell you to go and trade your Gen 5 in for a Gen 6, because for me, these Gen 6s were not needs. They were 100% wants. I am a Glock guy. I am not a Glock fanboy by any stretch of the imagination, but I am a Glock guy. The majority of my handguns are Glocks. Just like I'm not a 9mm fanboy, but I'm a 9mm guy. My favorite round is actually 40 caliber, but I have more 9mm than I have 40s. I have more 9mm ammunition than I have 40. So I have more Glocks than I have the other guns. My non-Glocks are my Springfield Echelon 4.0C, my FN 545, and my FN 509, which I have right here. I had this out at the range today too. This is loaded and chambered, so we're not going to shoot it. But if you guys want to know what gun shot the best out of all 3, I still have to say the 509. I still will say the 509 is the better ergonomic, fitting, feeling, shooting gun out of all of my 9mm. That the 509 I think shoots the best. Like I said, I'm not a Glock fanboy. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm a Glock guy. I think these Gen 6s are outstanding. Like I said, I wouldn't trade in my Gen 5 for the Gen 6, but I would damn sure would add the Gen 6 to my arsenal, collection, lineup, whatever you want to call it. For me, it's an arsenal. I'm not into collecting guns. I'm into buying guns for, you know, SHTF scenarios, self-defense, home defense, you know, defending me and my wife when we go on road trips and all that stuff. So I have an arsenal that I hope to never have to use other than at the range. Let's get that out there. But yeah, Glock really did their thing with the Gen 6. Is it the best Glock that Glock has ever made? Well, of course it is. Just like the iPhone 17 Pro Max is the best iPhone that Apple has made. I mean, that's obvious, you know, that it's the latest, greatest. You know, it's the new hotness. So of course it's gonna, you know, of course it's gonna be better. I'm gonna put the mags in because I'm not gonna be racking these anymore. You know, I want you guys to be able to see, of course, how they look with the mags and the guns. Doing that off camera because, you know, YouTube doesn't play. Here are my +1s for each gun, Spear Gold Dot. So I'll load those back in when I'm done. But I just think yeah, I think Glock nailed it with these guns, and I think they're a good step up from the Gen 5 editions of the Glock. I really do. They're excellent. The holster compatibility is exactly the same. So you won't have any problems with that if you decide to upgrade. You won't have any problems with that. Compatibility remains the same. I'm winging this review. I didn't make any notes. I like to go from the heart, right off the top of the head, you know, and let you guys know, you know, how I really feel. I feel they're outstanding. There was no fell into lock back. It never did that. This new ridge works really good as far as stopping that. A little oil, I cleaned it. You know, y'all gotta always rub that excess oil into the finish to protect against rust anyway. So I don't mind giving my gun a good oil bath. But okay, here we go. So when I get in there, let's raise that up. You can see that ridge is protecting. So there was no failure to lock back. There was no slide bite. Now, on my Gen 5 Glocks, I have had a couple of failures to lock back because, you know, you see the ridge just is not, you know, let me get the 19 up here. The ridge just isn't as pronounced. So I did get some a couple failures to lock back on some of my Gen 5s, including my 19. In case you're wondering, I have 8 Gen 5s. I have the 19, the 45, the 23, the 22, the 21, the 19X, the 43X, and what am I missing? What am I missing? That's 7 Gen 5 Glocks. One other one, I don't know. I'll think about it later. 21, I don't think I mentioned that. But yeah, those are all of my Gen 5 Glocks, and then my 2 Gen 6s give me 10 Glocks in total. So, you know, you're hearing this from a Glock guy, not a Glock fanboy, so I'm not gonna lie and make the gun out to be better than it actually is, and I'm not gonna lie and make it worse than it actually is. These Gen 6s are phenomenal. They are well worth it. I did not have a single malfunction after shooting couple hundred rounds through them both. I had no issues. I do got to get back up to Sportsman's or go on Target USA and order me some more ammo, because I'm the type to immediately replace what I shoot. So I always keep my ammo count up. But yeah, I'm going to get that video out of the shots that I took. And man, I'm impressed. If they come out with a Gen 6 43X, I might get it. I know Glock is done with 40, so I know they're not going to come out with a 40, but if they came out with a Gen 6 and 40, I would, yeah, oh yeah. I run every light in town getting to my FFL to pick that one up, because like I said, 40 is my favorite. But yeah, I can't say enough. They're excellent. Another thing that I noticed is there was, well, I'm not going to say notice, because there was nothing wrong with the MOS system. A lot of people talk about the MOS system. I never had a problem with it as far as the optics holding zero and you know, staying put. These do too. They sit lower. Whatever it is about these plates, it's working. I had zero problem with my optic. When I got back home, you know, I lined it back up with the bore sighter, and it was right just above that bore sighter like it was when I left. So it did not lose zero. It held zero. I was able to shoot just fine. Rapid fire, you know, I did a couple of bill drills, and I didn't have any problems with the ORS. I think it's ORS, Optic Ready System now, versus MOS. So I didn't have any problem with it on either of these firearms. Everything stayed in place. Everything held zero. Both of these guns held zero. As you can see, it's right there, right above that sight. Let's do it with this gun. I haven't done anything since I gotten back home. So let's get it lined up. There you go. Line it right up. There you go. And you can see that dot right above it like it's supposed to be. So everything is well. Everything was well. The guns work perfectly. No malfunctions of any kind. No stovepipes, no failure to feeds, no failure to ejects. There was no failure with getting the mags in. There was no slide bite. There was no failure to lock back. There was just 100% Glock perfection. That's all it was. It was excellent. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna end this video so that we can I can start. You guys see my cat over here? What are you doing over there? What are you doing? But everything ran fine. Every new update is useful. There's nothing gimmicky about the updates. All of them are useful, and you're going to see that right out of the box that Glock put a lot of time and effort into these guns, and there's nothing that's on there just for the sake of look or putting it on there. Everything that's on there is useful. Everything is bam, it's for a purpose. It's purpose-filled, purpose-driven. It's there to make the experience better, to make handling the gun better, to make the gun safer, to make the shooter safer, to make the shooter more comfortable, to make the shooter faster, more accurate. Everything was done right. So I'm going to get out of here so I can go work on my other video, finish my coffee. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Are you getting the new Gen 6s? Are you going to sit them out? What do you think? Do you think they're worth it? Do you think the updates, whatever you want to call it, are worth it? Let me know, please, and thank you. And as always, you guys stay safe. It's crazy out there. Stay armed, stay intelligent, stay ready, practice those 2A rights. Peace. Talk to you guys in the next video. Later.